So did Jalen Hurts or Neville Gallimore or Kenneth Murray do enough to show that they can be first-round draft picks in April? Yes and no. I mean, starting with Neville Gallimore, it's a guy that really didn't come on until his last season at Oklahoma. Now provided in an entirely different scheme that really was able to showcase what he was able to do. Alex Grinch had said famously that this is a defensive line friendly scheme. Single gap. I'm asking you to split folks and get into the backfield, create havoc, disrupt folks, and get tackles for loss. And Neville Gallimore had always been identified as a freak athlete, famously making Bruce Feldman's freak list year in and year out because he was reportedly running 4.7 second 40-yard dashes at 335 pounds. And then at the NFL Combine, he showed 4.79 speed at 304 pounds. Perspective here is last year, Quentin Williams was a top 5 pick after showing that he could run 4.8 in the 40 at a pound lighter, 303 pounds. But he'd also shown way more on film than Gallimore has, and Gallimore is older than Williams was, right? So you have to take those things into account. But also take into account there are other guys in this draft that are running just as fast and faster. Khalil Davis coming out of Nebraska playing defensive tackle shocked everybody with his 4.75 40. And that's really what this combine is for. It's for showcasing athleticism, talent, and then intellect and charisma in the interviews and in telling your stories. And that's where I think Kenneth Murray might have helped himself the most. We all know he's an outstanding athlete. We also know he's a point and shoot linebacker, right? Which was to say, don't ask him to sit there and diagnose what's going on in the front seven. Ask him to see a thing and then go hit a thing. With Oklahoma running Alex Grinch's scheme last year, what I found fascinating was how Grinch had decided, I'm not going to ask Murray to overthink. If we see the running back flare, he knows he's got to go take the running back out. That's his read. I will ask him to stand up on the end on 3rd and long and rush the passer, and he was great at that as well. So you could see him as a 4'9" guy. You could see him as a will. And at 241 pounds, running a 4.52 second 40-yard dash is flying. He's 20 pounds heavier than Jalen Hurts, who ran 4.51. Shows you what kind of an athlete he is. But he's coming into an NFL draft class that ain't necessarily deep at linebacker, but it is top heavy. And Isaiah Simmons showed you why. I think we should stop calling Isaiah Simmons a linebacker and begin calling him Destroyer of Worlds, right? Call him ROE, as in Robert Oppenheimer's experiment, right? He is going to blow up everything you know and love about your offense because at 6'3" at 238 pounds, he dropped 4.39 seconds in the 40-yard dash, which makes him faster than White Chocolate Christian McCaffrey and makes him faster than Saquon Barkley. He's going to be elite wherever you put him, whether it's in the nickel, whether it's inside, whether it's outside corner, or whether you just want him to stand up and rush the passer. He can do all of those things. His scheme fit is every scheme, and if you don't find a scheme fit for him, you're doing it wrong. Isaiah Simmons is so good as a defender that you would not get mad if the Cincinnati Bengals chose to draft him instead of Joe Burrow, chose to draft him instead of Chase Young. I can see an argument for Chase Young. I understand that many people already have Joe Burrow slotted to Cincy because quarterback value is the most valuable position, right? Quarterback is it. The positional value just outweighs everything else. But knowing that you have a guy that is so versatile as Isaiah Simmons means you can do anything you want in your defensive scheme. You don't get that same thing with Kenneth Murray, though you do get production, right? Back-to-back 100 tackles, back-to-back 100 tackle seasons, over 300 tackles in the course of his 3 years at Oklahoma, and really got, I think, snubbed out of the Butkus Award finalist list, though that was always going to be Isaiah Simmons' award because he's listed as a linebacker, but he's outstanding. And then you got guys like JT Gray, who was out there running 4.46 at the linebacker position as well. So not a ton faster than Murray, but we do separate 4.46 from 4.52. And then thinking about Jalen Hurts, you knew what you were going to get. I have been famously critical of his ability to throw accurate footballs down the field. He has a tendency to hold on to the ball and not really want to unleash it, and he does not necessarily want to throw the 50-50 ball to guys that we think are better athletes than the corners or safeties that are covering them. But what he did show was, one, you're not going to bust on his athleticism. You know that he's an elite athlete, and you know that he is absolutely going to give you everything he has from a leadership standpoint and from a captain standpoint. But what we saw that really put me over the top, that if you wanted to draft Jalen Hurts higher than normal, say instead of a 4th round selection, maybe you want to take him in the 2nd, is what he did with Steve Mariucci. Steve Mariucci took Jalen Hurts into the whiteboard room with the cameras on and with Steve Mariucci about it, right? Talking about what Steve Young was doing, what Jerry Rice was doing. And he was able to have a back and forth with Jalen that revealed a part of his character that I frankly wanted to see all year long. He was charismatic. He was loose. He was having fun. And I want you to take a look at this, or listen to this sound of Steve Mariucci and Jalen Hurts just cutting up.
You know, this guy right here for me in San Francisco is Steve Young, all right? You know how many times he went under center and how many times he went in shotgun?
Probably all of them under center.
All of them under center, okay. All right, so here's a play. Double wing right, all right? With the tight end to the right. Here's the Z. Here's the zebra and the X, all right? Very simple play. So the flanker drive is on this side. It's a 7-step throw, all right? 2 jet, he's gonna check, and then he's gonna check it down right here, the running back, all right? All right, whether this is Sterling Sharp or Jerry Rice or whoever these old guys are, you weren't even born yet. All right, he's gonna come off here and he's gonna rub, and he's gonna come underneath here. Now, if he sits down against zone, it's got to be far side tackle. Otherwise, he gets underneath the tight end, all right? So you want to have something like this, okay? If it's man-to-man, he will run like crazy. But here's another thing against double bump and run. If a nickel and a corner are stupid enough to double bump and run you right
Inside
there.
fade?
Huh?
Inside fade?
Inside fade is one thing, but here's another thing that we did. Twice in the same game when I was coaching Favre, number 4 for the Packers, against the Lions in Detroit. Pontiac, actually. We would check to swing. He would check, go, swing, swing. What's swing? Well, swing means these guys are he's gonna pick, and he's gonna go, whoa, see ya. All right?
Rub.
This guy, it's a rub, it's not a pick. That's just 2-jet. Flanker drive, zebra corner. Where do you rank yourself in this quarterback draft class?
I think I'm one of a kind. Being able to use my athleticism in the pocket when needed, and get freaky in open field when I have to as well.
Excuse me, get freaky?
Get freaky.
I don't know that. What does that mean? Yeah?
It's like the it factor.
You're only going to work as a quarterback in the combine, right?
I'm a quarterback.
You've lined up at receiver before.
I'm a quarterback.
Draw my play.
Draw your play.
Yeah.
I got you. I got my zebra. Y. He's outside. Taking a little split.
You want to be in shotgun, I suppose.
I want to be like your boy Steve.
Okay.
So I got a 7-step drop first and foremost by him.
Okay.
Got my basic route right here.
That's it?
He's able to sit versus any zone.
Okay.
Attach versus any man.
Okay.
Get my Z coming across on his shallow route. He's also able to sit. But we want him to sit on that backside tackle.
Yeah.
On our drive route.
Yeah, way over there.
So he can get out, clear the window. That's where we want to set our
Get
zone
out of the
at.
way, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And versus any attachment man to man.
All right, so what's
we're
the
clearing them
progression?
out. My progression, coach, I'm going 1, 2, 2, 3.
If you get some kind of blitz, where's an easy throw and drive concept?
My shallow.
Right there, huh? You're a fast guy?
Drive route.
Yeah, okay.
That's Z.
All right.
That's your guy, Jerry.
Yeah, he would just catch it and go.
Yeah. I know some guys like that.
Yep, okay, almost like that. What else can you do over there with that slot side?
If I got any man-to-man press, we're gonna check that rub route. So we go swing, swing. Let's go swing. What's your signal for it?
Swing.
Go swing.
Swing, all right? Make sure they see it. When do you like this inside fade?
I like that inside fade versus middle field close.
So,
hard
but
corner.
what will you do on their drop, whether you're in shotgun or here, if you got a free safety and you want to throw this, what do you do with your eyes?
We have to do something to occupy this guy right
Like
here.
what? What are you going to do?
Manipulate him. Eyes, shoulders, whatever it is.
Show me, manipulate me. So you're going back, you're looking.
Look up.
Yeah? And that keeps me in the middle?
Get it there, yes, sir.
Yeah. You're going to do well, man.
I'm a student of the game. I appreciate you.
Proud of you. Congratulations on everything.
Appreciate
and good
you.
luck.
Thank
Okay? All right, man.
So you can see from this that Jalen Hurts is very much a charismatic figure when he wants to be, right? And that's the knock. The knock is perhaps Jalen Hurts was not really as fallible as he could have been, right? When he gets into an interview standpoint, he seems to tighten up and turn it into a me versus them kind of exchange when really it's whatever you want it to be. I've always thought that as the quarterback, you have a responsibility to talk, to be the charismatic guy, to be the spokesman for the entire football team, because that's what the job means. That's being the top guy. And he even went ahead and said that to Mariucci, saying, I'm a quarterback. And he was also just kind of giving Mariucci the stuff, talking about Jerry Rice, that's your guy, right? He's like, yeah, catch it and just go. I play with a couple of guys like that. He said, yeah, not quite like that, but you could see that, and I enjoyed it. He was going head up with Mariucci, which led me to sincerely say, I cannot wait for Jalen Hurts to be a coach. If he gets to play in this league for longer than 3 years and he gets his pension vested, I'm all right with that as well. I'm not looking for him to wash out by any means. I think he's going to make somebody's roster this year, and then we'll see. But I do know this. Wherever Jalen Hurts goes is not going to be as great as where he coaches. Because whether or not he becomes an offensive coordinator in the next 5 to 10 or a head coach in the next 5 to 10 at the Power 5 level, I'm all in on it. I really want to see Jalen Hurts wearing a visor or a cap or a headset on the sideline, and want to hear him talking about his kids, and I want to hear him talk about coaching ball, and I want him to hear him talk about concepts in football and being a teacher, because I think that's who Jalen Hurts ultimately is. I think he's a teacher. And if you want a teacher, if you want a leader, if you want someone who is really going to make your locker room better, and you don't want to necessarily get beat on talent, perhaps you're going to go get Jalen Hurts, feel good about what you got at quarterback as your starter right now, because yes, you could build around him like some other quarterbacks. People keep throwing the Lamar Jackson comp out there. I'm not so sure about that, though Jalen Hurts is proven to be indestructible, just won't go down with injury no matter how many hits he takes. But also, if you're just trying to build culture, if you're just trying to make sure that this guy adds something valuable to what you're doing day in and day out, and someone you can lean on to have the pulse of your football team, you can do a lot worse than Jalen Hurts. So maybe not a first-round selection for any of the three of these guys that I mentioned. We talked about CeeDee Lamb earlier, but I'm not going to talk about CeeDee Lamb here because I know he's a first-round pick, right? We're talking about the other three guys that got invites. Knowing all of this, I say, yes, you could see a team perhaps take a shot at Neville Gallimore in the first round. You could see a team perhaps take a shot at Kenneth Murray in the first round. But what I love most is they did not play themselves out of the first round. They did not run themselves out. They did not screw up the interviews. And that's all you're asking from the combine, right? Because the combine is becoming more and more about television and more about us being able to say who's fast and who's not. And it doesn't really have a lot to do with the draft process. It's just part of the process. It's a piece in the puzzle. And that's not sexy to say. And I get that most level-headed folks that watch the NFL are saying exactly that, but it bears repeating.